So you're probably wondering what in the world is same face syndrome, and that's probably the reason why you click on this video. So what exactly is same face syndrome? Well, if you ever consumed anything, any sort of fiction that requires, an artist to basically draw characters, you probably experienced same face syndrome at one point or another. So to put it simple, same face syndrome is when you notice a character having very similar facial or model features to another character in the same fiction. For example, if let's say you meet a female character, right? She has black hair, blue eyes, pretty cute, right? And then you meet another character, another female character. All of a sudden you see blonde hair, maybe similar eyes, but the most familiar thing that you see is the face model is very similar to the other character you met. That is same face syndrome. What you're looking at is basically the same face model on a different character. So now all of a sudden you're thinking, wait a minute, hold on. She looks very much like that character, except she is wearing a blonde wig, she is wearing black hair. Wait a minute, hold on. What in the world? They're the same character, aren't they? No, they're not. Same face syndrome is basically just seeing a character look alike to another character because of maybe the art style, maybe the 3D model is very similar, and it is a very common thing. It happens in almost every single piece of media that you consume that is like has anything to do with like some sort of art, not like live action stuff, but like actual art, like either 2D art, 3D art, whatever. It happens in every single one. Now think about your favorite anime, your favorite manga, maybe cartoon, or maybe even video game. Think about your favorite one and think about the characters in that media, right? Just think about them. Do some of them kind of feel like they have similar, face models? Do some of them look very similar to each other? Maybe one of them has like a different hair color. Maybe someone's wearing glasses and the others aren't. Maybe some of them, have a beard and the other doesn't. Think about the characters. Now, do they kind of feel like they're similar, just with a different trait? That is same face syndrome. Now you're recognizing the idea that the character is using the same base as another character. Now, this is common in almost any artist you will ever meet. Why? It's because it's their style, it's their art style. That's one of the major reasons why. It's because they always use a base before drawing a new character, and sometimes that base usually revolves around, another character. And specifically, it's usually the base of like the main character or something like that. And why did they do this? Why? It's because it's much easier to basically create a new character using the base of another character. It's much easier to do that. It allows you to not only draw them faster, but also, make it easier on the artist. When specifically for like, mangakas or like animators, they need something easy to be able to produce quickly, right? To produce as fast as possible. And that's why they use a lot of base models to create other characters. This is common in almost any form of media that uses an art style or uses an artist's, characters. It always happens. Whatever your favorite series is, it more than likely it has happened in that. And it's not something that's bad. It's not considered lazy. It's not considered the artist is not creative whatsoever. It's just a way to basically produce something much quicker, much faster. And it's also easier on the artist. I think one of the big things that we need to understand is that a lot of artists work very hard and have to basically create new stuff very quickly in a very, very short amount of time. And because of that, they usually start off with one character and then base off the other characters from that model. And, like I said, it happens in almost every sort of media that covers or has art. Now I'm going to show you some examples that I actually showed on stream when we were talking about this weeks ago. And I want to show you exactly like that this is a very, very common thing. And your favorite series might be doing it without you even realizing it. Detective Conan, as you can see, there's a lot of female characters in Detective Conan that have very similar faces. Very similar faces. Another example, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon literally uses the same face over and over again for each and every single one of their characters, except the only difference is either the hair, the eye color, and maybe some little small differences in the face that basically make it slightly different. One Piece, and as a Nami fan, I always hear this because, you know, people just cannot get over the fact that same face syndrome is a thing that exists. Robin and Hancock are the same fucking model. It's the same face model. Some people just don't want to admit that because they don't want to admit that, you know, their character is similar to another character's, you know, their face is similar to another character. Nami, unfortunately, is basically the basic architect female model in One Piece. People say this, that Tifa's face right here, this is Tifa, and this is Elena. That Elena is Tifa with the blonde wig. Now, is there some similarity in the faces? Yes, there is. I'm not gonna say there isn't. But it's the same face model, but they're not the same characters. This is called same face syndrome. It happens in every single form of art. No matter who your favorite artist is, it always happens. Here's also another example that a chatter just showed me, is from Fate. As you can see here, like almost every single character here is literally almost using a similar face model. And yeah, as you can see here, like literally, there's even a male character that has a similar face model. You see, it happens all the time. Once again, it's called same face syndrome. So as you can see, it happens. It happens all the time. It's very common. Almost every artist does this. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're not creative enough to create, you know, different models for, you know, new characters. It's that when you have a short time constraint, using a base model to create many new different characters is like one of the best things to do. It allows you to create characters in that short time limit. And most of the time, most people don't notice until someone points it out. Like, an example of this is in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So when the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer came out, all of a sudden people on Twitter have talked about how, like, Elena, a new character that's going to be introduced in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, she's in the original, but once that came out, people saw Elena and thought, wait a minute, that just looks like Tifa with a blonde wig. Come on. Come on. Why are these animators, these models so lazy? You see, those are the type of comments that insults both not only the characters, but also the artists themselves, the animators. Because at the end of the day, you need to understand is that there's a lot of pressure on them to basically create a lot of stuff in a very short time. And a lot of the times they use base models to make it quicker and easier on themselves. And by doing so, by insulting this, or by, you know, making a mockery of it, by, like, I don't know, calling Elena a Karen Tifa, it basically just also disrespects the characters themselves, because the characters are two different, you know, personalities. Tifa is not like Elena. Elena is not like Tifa. They're two different characters. By mocking them because they use the same base model, you're basically disrespecting the character, and me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. As a One Piece fan and a Nami fan, let's just say I have noticed a lot when people call another character like Vivi, for example, a blue-haired Nami. Like, no. Like, it doesn't, like, sure, they probably use the same base model, but at the end of the day, they're two different characters. Nami is not like Vivi, Vivi is not like Nami. So it's so weird to see people, like, make fun of that. It's just weird. I don't know. I think it might be just a gripe of mine, but at the end of the day, I think it's just disrespectful to both the characters and the artists, and I think we should probably stop that. Like, if you can see it and point it out, you can. Just don't be disrespectful about it, like start calling, you know, someone a Karen version of another character. You know, it just insults both characters. It insults the artists who probably, or the animators who probably work hard in trying to, you know, do their job, do their work in a very short amount of time. And at the end of the day, safe face syndrome is a thing. It happens all over the place. It happens in every single media of art that you consume. So I think at the end of the day, you know, it's a thing, and I just wanted people to know about it, just wanted to talk about it. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you have a wonderful day. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.